Welcome to another episode of Titan PI TV, where we're looking at the inside workings of a live operational investigation company, that being here, Titan in Derby. Today we're going to look at a very short subject, which is talking around background checks. There are many reasons why people may require a background check. However, Titan's background checks are bespoke to what the client requires. The reason they're bespoke is because we don't want to cover information that you already know. So, areas that we may look into, this is an exhaustive list and it's not limited to, but we can look into career history, so jobs that a person may have had previously, employment history. We can look into education and qualifications and whether they are genuine of what is being said. We can look up a current address for a person, where they're currently residing, a current telephone number and a current email address if they've got one. We can do a nationwide court search, which is looking into the criminal history of an individual, which we can go back as far as 10 years. We can look at address history, so not only identify where they are living now, but identify where they've lived previously that. So we can find out the chain of where they've lived, or geographical pattern. We can confirm their full name and date of birth. We can look into properties and association to properties. We can look at asset checks, so that might be looking at what properties they own on paper, but also other sorts of assets, which we'd have to discuss with you in person. Bankruptcies. We can look into whether a person is bankrupt previously, whether they've got a CCJ or whether they've got IVAs. We can look into births, deaths, marriages and also divorces to find out whether a person is divorced or has been married or is married. Sometimes this is key, certainly when people are meeting people online. And we can also do credit checks, so we can look at their general credit history. Why may people want this information then? So I've already alluded to one, which is a partner that may have met someone through an online dating app. Obviously that person could say who they are. It might be that you're then going to introduce them to children or family and you want to know a little bit about that person. What we'll say at this point is everything which I'm describing we can do is completely covert. So there are no triggers for the person who we're looking into, them knowing we're looking into them. So the only people that know this is happening is you, the client, and us. If there's something we find which you don't like and you divulge that, then that's down to you. But unless you say something to the person you've instructed us to look into, they're never going to know. It might be that you're looking into a cheating partner, so you realise your partner's cheating and you think, I don't really know this person, and you want a background check on them, which may uncover certain aspects of their life prior to meeting you, or, as in a scenario I'm going to speak about in a moment, actually show you what that person's like whilst they've been with you. But I'll come on to that in a moment. It might be that you want to look into an employee. It could be that you're an employee and you want to look into an employer. It could be that, for example, you want to look into a carer, or you're allowing a cleaner into your house. You know, these are very personal areas where, on face value, we're just letting someone in. A background check will give you information in regards to who that person actually is, not what they're telling you or what their CV says. It might be that you're having new tenants into a rental property. It might be that you're looking at a new business partner. It could be that you're having problems with a neighbour. You want to know what you're dealing with. Has this neighbour had previous disputes? Have they got a criminal record, which is a common one that we have? It might be that it's a person that's in a position of trust and you want to know a little bit more about them. It could be a fiancé. It could be a debtor. The list is endless, but there are many reasons why someone might want legitimately a background check, and it's not stalking. Okay, so I said that I was going to mention a case that we recently dealt with, and before I do so, I just mentioned to you that we have had permission to mention this from our client, and it has been sanitised. So we were contacted by a client who was a professional. He had a high paid job. He married 7 years ago, and the marriage suddenly stopped. He came home from work one evening. A large sum of money has been taken out of a bank account, and a high-end car which she used was missing from the address, and all her clothes are gone. Obviously, once the initial shock's been got over and realised that she's left, he wanted to know answers. So we do the normal background checks. We're looking at criminal history, so the nationwide court search. We're looking at previous addresses. We're trying to find out whether there's been previous marriages. If so, trying to speak to those. But one of the things we do is from a number of photographs we're given of a person we're looking into, we can use a piece of software which then searches the whole of the internet for that person. And we found something out which none of us were expecting. It was a massive shock. So we put a number of photographs from different angles of this person, the wife, who we were looking into. And lo and behold, we discovered that for the last 15 odd years, certainly the last 7 years of their marriage, that she's been all over escort sites and she's been selling herself as an escort. So that was a massive shock, obviously for our client, the husband. That evidence was then used, as well as other elements of the background check, for elements of the divorce, but also for private litigation, because obviously we were dealing with theft of a large amount of money and a vehicle, etc. So that is background checks. If you need a background check, please feel free to get in touch. We have 9 offices from London to Manchester, so we cover the nation. As always, please give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. If you'd like to see more, subscribe so you'll be told every Friday at 3 p.m. when we release them. Till next time, thanks for listening.